Hello and welcome to Juvenile Arthritis Explained. My name is Corrine Pinter. I'm a mom of a 15-year-old girl, Emily, who was diagnosed at 2 with juvenile polyarticular arthritis, and she today has psoriatic arthritis. Today we have with us, our guest is Dr. Leslie Favier, a pediatric rheumatologist at Children's Mercy Hospital. Dr. Favier is also a clinical assistant professor of pediatrics at the University of Missouri, Kansas City School of Medicine. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
How do those appointments or the virtual telehealth appointments differ from in-person appointments in terms of the structure and purpose?
Yeah, so this is something that we've really developed intensely over the past, since 2020. So we've gotten this as probably as smooth as we're going to. So telehealth visits are great for ease of commuting. They are time efficient for both parties. They offer an opportunity to catch up verbally, and you are still face to face. You're able to give symptom updates, ask questions. They're really good for conversation-based appointments. We can do some physical examination maneuvers. We do the best we can. And it's mostly by, passive range of motion, having the kids move around, using the aid of pictures or, our verbal descriptions. But they are limited compared to the in-person experience. So they're not, this isn't apples to apples, but they're both useful, and they're both, a virtual appointment is something that can be productive if you come at it prepared and with, positive expectations about how it's going to go.
Right. Yes. The last few years have proven that we can do appointments virtually.
You
They are not
can.
the same. They are useful and helpful.
Uh-huh.
Very different, but still, your child still needs to be seen sometimes in circumstances. And this is a nice tool to have.
Absolutely.
Right. So like our last appointment in person, what would the virtual telehealth appointment look like? Your perspective is the ideal or perfect
Telehealth.
virtual appointment. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So number one is smooth connectivity and no tech issues. That I think is our biggest gripe, not having Wi-Fi signal or not having the program installed. So that is number one. If I can't hear you or can't see you, it makes the appointment really, really challenging. So that is number one for smoothness. Um, Number two, it's similar to our or in-person appointments where, I want to be able to effectively communicate clearly. Everybody feels heard. We're not stepping over each other. There can be a little bit of, maybe a little bit more lapses or like, oh, you were speaking, there, we have to leave a little bit of room for that awkwardness with
Yeah.
a telehealth appointment, but the goals are still achieved. We are still coming up with a treatment plan. We feel like we have a grasp on how well controlled we are, and everybody leaves the telehealth appointment feeling like, hey, we've got this.
Yeah.
Everybody's on the same page.
Yes, exactly. Coming prepared, like you said, making sure technology is working still. And that brings us to our next point is like, what technology or equipment do parents need to make successful and smooth?
Yeah. So number one is a strong internet signal, right? So we want to make sure that our Wi-Fi is set up and it is working well. And if we are, I have some families that live in a rural setting, and that's part of the reason why we're
Mhm.
doing a virtual appointment. If that means going to a family member's house that has strong signal, that's, totally acceptable. We want to make sure that our tablet or our PC is fully charged or is plugged in. So that way we're not dealing with an energy issue. And that our tablet or PC is compatible with the telehealth platform that's being used and is loaded ahead of time. And that you get extra kudos points if you've tested it with making sure your speakers work, your camera works, that you are raring to go. Because
Right.
we all, with our telehealth appointments, we still do have that limited amount of time, and we want to make sure
Mhm.
that we use it for the actual patient care and not the tech issues.
Right. Right. Absolutely. What if I know some platforms are good on cell phones. Do you
Mhm.
I mean, if that's what they have to use, that's what they have to use. But ideally, it would be a laptop, computer, tablet, something with a bigger camera range, I feel like.
Yeah, because oftentimes you have the parents or parents and the child, so it's hard to smush into a
Yeah.
phone screen. But I mean, if it works well, it works well.
Right. Right. Whatever we have to get connected, right? Right. Okay. Are there any privacy or security considerations to keep in mind when we're doing telehealth appointments?
Yeah, we don't really want to use like open access Wi-Fi networks for security reasons. And you also, need to be mindful of who's in the room. Everybody is going to be hearing your conversations, right? So most of the time, we're not able to use dual headphones for the parents and the kids. So usually it's open air speaker. So if you have family members in the room that you don't want hearing for some reason, or if you're in a coffee shop or something, know that this is
Public. It's very open.
yeah.
Kind of treat it like you would in a doctor's appointment, like put yourself in a space that's a little bit more private.
Mhm.
Um, Noise is a big thing. Try not to be out in public with that, because you're right. There's a lot of information being shared about your child, and you don't necessarily want everyone to hear that.